Hi there, Natalie Rose Martin here, and I am making this video in response to a question that someone posted on my last video about the control test. The question reads, why are you mixing public government entities and procedures with private common law matters? In my opinion, it's one or the other. They don't mix. A woman in private and common law has no concern with government statutes and codes. My response says, I'm interested in supporting my clients and students to create watertight trusts that would hold up in court if necessary. A properly executed common law trust should hold up in de facto court. This is actually the very reason I made the video about the control test in the first place, because there are some folks who are operating trustees in a different type of trust that exists wholly and only in the common law, in the private jurisdiction. And they feel good about that choice, and I totally honor that choice. And I recognize that there may be like a band of consciousness frequency where that will work. That works. And to be completely in the common law with no consideration for the public jurisdiction in the creation of your trust, like really might work for some people. And to be responsible in what I'm sharing and teaching, and to facilitate people having the most secure trust structures possible, I made the video about the control test, which says do not grant your own trust. Don't be the grantor and the trustee of the trust. And you can watch that video. I go into all the reasons why and how to set that up properly. But here in this video, I'll just dig a little bit more into why I teach the way I do. So we, men and women, are free agents. We are free agents, and there are multiple levels of reality that we get to operate within if we so choose. Now, most people are operating in the public jurisdiction in some way or another. Some people have undone all of the contracts, made new contracts, and aren't driving with a driver's license or a registration. And there are so many layers to this game. However, we have the power to choose which layer we want to play in. And I think it's wise to have the tools to play in all the layers that are available. The system, which includes our birth certificates and social security numbers, have turned us into merchants. We have all become members of the merchant class through those contracts. Now, when we're operating as merchants, there are a certain set of tools that are useful. And when we are operating as men and women, there is another set of rules that we can orient to. So, statutes and codes live in the world of the public jurisdiction and the merchant class, and the Uniform Commercial Code is where a lot of that information lives. Now, for men and women living in alignment with God's law, there really only are two laws. It's very, very simple. They are do no harm and do not trespass. So, as a woman living on the land, I know that if I operate according to those laws, do no harm and do not trespass, there is never any crime in my name. If someone were to come to me and say, you have done me harm, you have trespassed in this way, it would be my responsibility to make remedy for that trespass or that harm. I'm here for it. that I'm here for. That is part of New Earth stewardship and building the new Earth, is the ability to create repair when needed, on emotional levels and physical levels. Like that is a key skill, right? So if everyone were living in accordance with God's law, do no harm and do not trespass, would I even have a trust? Maybe not. Like, I don't know that I would feel it was necessary. However, we are living in this world where we are men and women living on the land, and there is a corporate overlay on top of everything. And we're so indoctrinated and enculturated into that corporate overlay that to bring ourselves out of it is a multi-step process, and it's laborious. And some of us may not have the bandwidth to like really do all of those steps or care, driving with a driver's license and being in the public jurisdiction while driving a car that's registered, like might be okay. The tools available in the law merchant, in the public jurisdiction, open up a whole realm of possibility. And I'll just put in a plug here right now for inpowermovement.org. Inpower, INPOWER, movement.org or .com will take you to the same website. These people are brilliant. So this organization, led by Cal Washington, has been researching and developing a process that leans heavily into the law merchant and our standing as merchants and the commercial jurisdiction in order to give us the power to hold people in positions of power, elected officials, and public servants accountable for the harm and trespasses they are enacting upon us, whether they know it or not. So that process is called a notice of liability. That is in the commercial jurisdiction. It is an amazing tool, and I highly recommend, if you're interested, that you go check that out, empowermovement.org. Now, back to trusts. So for me, the trust is a vehicle so that I have access to the commercial jurisdiction through a bank account, while I, the woman, Natalie Rose Martin, remain in the private. So I exist in the private. I am a woman who lives on the land, and I feel very clear about that. I do no harm. I do not trespass. I make remedy when needed, period. Now, in order to have an online business and operate in the realms of commerce, I need a vehicle. That's why I created a trust, to be that vehicle. At least that's why I created a public trust, to be that vehicle for me. So the trust can manage the commercial affairs of the business, and I don't have to. And that does not affect my standing as a woman on the land. And that keeps me out of engaging in commercial relationships like with the IRS, etc. So the type of trust structure I teach is like a bridge. It bridges commercial jurisdiction to private jurisdiction, and it creates a pathway. I find this an incredibly useful tool in the current climate. Now, do I think that trusts are an inherent structure of the new earth? Not necessarily. I think that they are a necessary measure to be taken at this time to transition us into the new society, in which it may or may not be necessary to use trusts. I'm not attached. So I just want to be really clear. I think trusts are an amazing tool. I highly recommend that you use the tool. And I think that it's a bridge. I think trusts are a bridge. Like so many other things, like I think cryptocurrency is a bridge. Do I think cryptocurrency is how exchange happens in the new earth? Not necessarily. Will we even need currency? I don't think so. But for the foreseeable, future, we still need currency, and we're not there yet. We haven't graduated to not needing currency. So cryptocurrency seems like a pretty good option. It's transparent, it's decentralized, like those elements are moving us in the right direction, right? And The elements of the trust that are moving us in the right direction are that they like allow us to maintain our individual sovereignty and not subject ourselves to the commercial jurisdiction if we choose not to. Where we're going, I don't believe we'll need to make those choices, but it is an important element for the transition. Anyhow, I hope that was helpful. I strongly encourage you to align with living in accordance with God's law, natural law, common law. Do no harm, do not trespass, and then use these tools that are available to protect our sovereignty and carry us forward into the new way. And if you want some help with that, please go ahead and help yourself to the Outer Sovereignty Starter Kit, which is my free PDF. I'll link below the video. Go ahead and get that, and that will boost you on your way to understanding jurisdiction and moving yourself into the realm of the private. Thank you so much for your time, energy, and attention, and I will see you in the next video. Blessings on your way.